I think a lot of people still don't realize how serious this situation has become inside schools. Teachers aren't just complaining about students being loud or immature. They're talking about massive attention problems, emotional instability, constant phone addiction, lack of motivation, and students struggling to function without non-stop stimulation. And the crazier part? Younger teachers and veteran teachers are both saying the same thing.
Sometimes these kids, I don't understand how they ended up to this point. You know what I mean? Like, I teach 8th grade history, and I have 110-ish students. 2 of them are reading on grade level right now. 18 of them are at a kindergarten level. 55 of those students are between a 2nd and 4th grade level. That's a lot of them. And that's typical of what I've seen lately from students. But it's not just literacy. It's not just literacy, and it's not just like lack of content knowledge. It's not just critical thinking skills. It's basic thinking skills. My students can decode almost nothing. They cannot apply inference. They cannot process questions that are longer than a sentence. They cannot connect cause and effect. They can't track multi-step ideas like in a political cartoon. And it's scaring me a little. Like, I see it every single day. I had a kid yesterday, 4 kids actually. This happened in every class. We were doing guided notes, supposed to be a real easy day. It was review. They wrote down Maryland was founded as a safe haven for Catholics. It was on the board. They wrote it down. And before we moved on, I call on a student and I ask, hey, where were the Catholics? One more time. And these students, what they do is they look at me, and then they look at their notes, and then they look at the board. They look back at their notes. And some of them never answered me. They never figured out the answer. It was wild. And I kept giving them hints, like rephrasing the question and saying, like, it's in your notes. We just wrote it down. We just wrote it down. Where are the Catholics? It's on the board. And they never got it. These kids have a frightening ability for information to go from their eyes to their hands and not pass through the brain at all. Like, what do we do, y'all? That ship is sailing across the ocean and there is no one at the wheel.
The literacy problem terrifies me because reading is connected to everything else. If students struggle to read deeply, they struggle to think deeply too.
I don't know what's happened to education. It breaks my heart. I've wanted to be a teacher since I was in the 4th grade. Now I'm a teacher and I'm miserable a lot. I love the act of teaching. I love changing students' minds and helping them develop into smart individuals, but I don't do that. I don't get to teach. I spend my day managing behaviors and teaching students how to regulate their emotions. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a behavior specialist. I'm a teacher, and most of my job is managing behaviors. Most of my job is reaching out to admin and parents. That's not what I signed up for, and that's why so many teachers are leaving the profession.
This might be the saddest part of modern education. Many teachers entered the profession because they loved inspiring students intellectually. Now, many feel like full-time behavior managers instead.
Hi, every video that I have seen on my For You page lately has been talking about the children of today and what it is like to be a teacher and the state of education and blah, blah, blah. And so this is my formal submission. This is my submission on what behaviors I am seeing in my classroom and how I'm handling it. But genuinely, I feel like we are reaching a point where like something's got to give, and I don't know that we can keep going like this. So this summer, when I was out spending all of my personal dollars from my personal paycheck on things for the upcoming school year, and I purchased this pack of plastic magic wands, right? Today, finally, I was like, we're going to get the wands out, because if you are not in education, maybe you don't know this, but right now, in order for students to want to do anything, it has to be fun and it has to be exciting. And if they don't think it's fun or exciting, they're not going to do it, and they're going to complain the whole time. They're going to complain anyways. So we are doing an activity where every group needed a leader, and we were going to pass who was the leader around as we went through the rounds of the thing. Raise your hand, who's your leader? And I went up to each table with one of every color, and I gave every leader at their table this plastic wand. I made a whole big to-do about it. And today, no sooner than I had passed them out, I watched a child look at me and then break it. And then when I was upset that they just broke the wand that we have never even used before, and they don't care, and they're not sorry. And when I was upset about it, he laughed at me. So it's not like it's ever going to get better. They just actually really don't care. And to the point that I don't know what we're going to do about it, but something's going to have to change. So talk to your kids about kindness, because even though this is just a crappy plastic wand, it's not just this. It's all the things that they've broken from me that I've given them. It's things that they're destroying on purpose. And this is my formal submission as to why your teachers are tired and quitting.
Some people might laugh at this because it's just a plastic wand, but teachers understand it's not about the wand. It's about putting emotional energy into trying to make learning fun, only to have it mocked or destroyed instantly.
Kids no longer know how to do, and I don't know why. Number one, read a clock with confidence. They're always asking, what time is it? What time is it? I'm like, look at the clock. They're like, I don't know how to read that. And they say that to you with confidence. Number two, write in script. Whatever happened to writing in script? I love writing in script. I wish more of them knew how to do this. This is like a lost art. Number three, memorize phone numbers. They don't know their parents' numbers. They don't even know what apartment they live in. They don't know what street they live on, which brings me into number four. They don't know their address. We ask them, where do you live? I live down the block. Well, what's your address? I don't know. I'm talking about third graders, y'all. Number five, they don't know how to count money. And it's partially not their fault, right? Because we're always using cards, Apple Pay, things like that. But if you give them a few coins, they don't even know the names of the coins. They don't know the value of the coins. They can't add it all together. What is happening? We got to bring it back. We got to bring it back. Number six, they don't know how to tie their shoes. They have these fancy shoes and they don't know how to tie their shoelaces. Some of them have Velcro, and hey, if it works, it works. But I mean, come on, we should know how to tie our shoes. At 8 and 9, what's happening? The next one, they don't know their parents' names. I'll ask them, what is your mom's name? They'll be like, I don't know. They don't know where their parents are from. Do you speak to your parents at all? Next, they don't know what year they were born. Some of them can tell you their birth date, but what year they were born, they don't know, nor are they interested. Next, they don't know how to use a dictionary. Now, yes, everything is on the phones now. They use iPads and things like that, but still being able to put things in alphabetical order. They don't know what something means, but they're also not interested in figuring out what it means. Yeah, now they have dictionaries on their phone where they're able to look things up, but to actually look it up when you know that you don't know about it, there's no effort being put into that at all. The last one is how to follow multi-step directions. If I tell them, go over there, get me that book, and then when you're done, wipe that desk off and then bring me the paper out of the book. They go, oh, okay. They go to the book and then they be like, what did you say to do again? Yeah, you're not listening at all. And it's a problem. I don't know, parents, if y'all can help us out, we need to go back to basics. Can you please help these kids out? Because they're coming to the classroom lacking the basics, and it's a problem. We're going to do our part as teachers, but we just need a little help. We need a little extra help at home, please.
At first, these sound funny. Then you realize many kids genuinely lack basic independent skills now because technology handles everything for them.
I was not exaggerating when I said that I'm truly concerned about this younger generation that's coming up. And for reference, the generation I'm referring to is Alpha. So it's my children's age group, and their ages are 10, 8, 6, and 4. So the response was pretty similar. A lot of people are feeling the same way as me, the same concerns. Over the weekend, my son had a soccer game. My son is 6 years old. So he's playing with other children that are also 6 years old. So I'm sitting on the sideline with my daughter and my son, and my husband is behind me playing catch the ball with my littlest. So both teams get on the field. Game starts. Well, there's one kid on the other team that notices that we're all actively cheering for my son, okay? So this child on the other team, mid-game, walks over to me, puts 2 hands up like this close to my face, and goes, pshh, 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 pshh. You're 6 years old. There's no other way to describe how I felt. I was in disbelief. Where is this child's parents? Where is his parents? Who's his parents? So that coach ends up pulling that kid out of the game. And I was like, all right, this is it. We're going to find out who his parents are, because surely they're going to see him be pulled from the game. Well, guess what? His parents were actually sitting on the end of the field, knee deep in their phones, completely unaware of anything going on. They had no idea that their son had just done this. The most disappointing thing is those parents left without even knowing that this took place.
The scariest part of the story is actually the parents not paying attention at all. A lot of kids are being raised more by screens than adults. I think some teachers feel trapped because they're expected to solve problems that start far outside the classroom. This might be one of the biggest long-term problems for Gen Alpha and Gen Z. Low frustration tolerance. The moment something becomes difficult, boring, or slow, many students mentally check out. Teaching has become one of the highest emotional effort jobs compared to the respect and compensation many teachers actually receive. This is something many non-teachers don't realize. A lot of teachers no longer feel trusted as professionals. Everything is standardized, scripted, tracked, measured, and monitored. If you want more videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe.